Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Yak Gadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs, go to eastport.info. Now let's get this show started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Reel Down on Paddle and Fin. Just going to be me tonight. Jimmy's, everybody's got stuff going on. It's that time of the year. But me, I didn't, Memorial Day just passed. Didn't do a whole lot this weekend. Worked on trailer and did family stuff. And today I won the yard of the year or whatever for my neighborhood. I don't know what it is, but yeah, can't believe that happened. So, like, you get older. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but you get older, something you never cared about. And now I'm, working on my lawn, had trees removed and pine straw. Dude, I'm getting so old. But yeah, tonight we're going to talk about KFL, Kayak Fishing League. And we've got two guys on here. We got Greg Nosar, the owner and commissioner of the KFL, and also the owner of the Washington Warhawks, and Randy Newton, the owner of the Deep South Kraken.
That's right.
The newest team.
Yeah, man. By the way, I am not the owner of Washington Warhawks. I turned that over to Will Brewer because I have way too much going on. So, but it's all good though, man.
Just the star player.
There's some hammers on that team, man, that you never heard of, man. I'm excited for it, man. We have a good team, real good team.
There you go. Cool.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we'll give y'all a chance to say who you are and who your team is. Randy, we'll start with you, man.
All right. Well, Randy Newton with the Deep South Kraken down here in Florida, one of the three teams down here in Florida. Last minute arrival to the party, but not late to the dance. Let's put it that way. We are excited for this year and definitely looking forward to the kickoff this weekend against the Florida Copperheads. That is going to be a blast at the Tenor Rock, and we are ready to just get it going. Been doing this now for a little while, have the KAF Sunshine State Trail down here in Florida. And so a lot of these anglers, I think we have a total of 30 of them that are involved in the KFL. So we are excited to see what's going to transpire. Not only do we have the three teams, but we also have a couple anglers with the Southern Slayers, and then also with a couple other teams in South Carolina. So we are really excited for just the flux of anglers coming out of the KAF and be a part of this.
Cool. And you have your own podcast.
That's right. We do our show normally on Monday nights at 8 p.m. And because of Memorial Day, we took a week off, but we'll be back hitting it hard next week because we also have our very last trail stop the following Saturday. So we are going to get ready to wrap that up for the season.
There you go. Cool.
Which is weird to say that we're finishing our season when everybody else is starting.
Yeah. But what podcast is it if people don't know?
Kayak Anglers of Florida. You look us right up on YouTube, Facebook, Kayak Anglers of Florida. You can learn anything you want about the state of Florida and companies and also locations throughout the state.
Cool. All right, Mr. Nosar, the man with a plan, the brain of all this. Tell them, if they don't know who you are, never heard of you, tell them who you are and everything about the KFL they need to know.
Yeah, Greg Nosar, founder, creator of the KFL, man. It's been quite a ride. We started last year, started with 17 teams all across the country, added over to the 2018 season, this season, man. And if you follow like sports and you know what the NFL is and Major League Baseball and NBA, that's kind of how this is all structured. There's 8 players on each team, 4 start each game, and it's a home and away games. There's 4 home games and 4 away games for each team. And man, it's been real. I mean, it's, the sponsors are involved and team sponsors, there's corporate sponsors. It's an 8-game season with a playoff format, and it's basically there's 2 conferences, kind of like the North and South Conference of the KFL. And there's 3 divisions. The whole goal is to win your division. Or win the conference, and there's bye weeks, and it's like an NFL playoff system. So until we get a champion, and we have quote unquote the Super Bowl of KFL, or the KFL Championship is going to be held on Lake Chickamauga in October. And it's going to be exciting, man. It's really, really cool. Something new, something that's really not been done before in fishing, especially kayak fishing. So, it's been absolutely amazing, though. It's been a lot of fun. And a lot of anglers, their feedbacks last year was, this is the funnest I've ever had fishing. And we learn from one another. There's a camaraderie that happens, and you develop fans. And I mean, it's just so cool. It's so much fun.
And really, if somebody has never heard of the KFL, or if somebody's been on the fence, or they haven't, they just haven't thought much about it. It is amazingly, like, I'm amazed to see what you've done to get like an entire league fully thought out, Motion Sports Network, to have a place to have all the shows, the podcasts, the live podcasts, there are the live shows, the rules, the teams, getting new teams, sponsors, social media, organizing all of that. I can barely do my own. Everything you've done, it's dude, I don't know how you have a job, have a family, and do KBBT and KFL. Definitely, I think some other people have tried to take the title, but you are now officially the hardest working man in kayak fishing for sure.
Well, here's the deal. I appreciate that, Dan. Dan, remember me and you were talking when this whole thing first came out. You were the first person I called with the idea. And I said, Dan, what do you think? And you're like, oh, I love this. You know what I mean? Just, you're like, because I was like, I don't know if this is going to work, man. And you kind of cut me off mid-sentence because you knew the concept, right? And, if it was honestly, it all falls back to, 2 years ago with the kind of concept. And if it wasn't for your encouragement and confirmation that this is going to work, then it would never have been birthed, man. I mean, that's the God's honest truth. So I thank you for your encouragement, man. You've been right there all along, man. And
I don't have anything to do with that.
You have, though. I mean, you do. And this league is not just one man. It's, it's everybody, all the owners who've committed to this and, have seen the vision and has inputted their input in what it should be. I mean, it's not just, one or two people that do this. It's everybody involved, including this man right here. I mean, he came in late, he really helped us out, and to be prepared and have a team ready at the moment's call. And literally the next day he was ready to go. I mean, that just doesn't happen. I mean, it's amazing to me, and then here he is facing a very tough matchup in week 1, versus the Copperheads. And like he said, I mean, he's developed an empire, so to speak, in Florida. And, it's going to be cool because I'm friends with a lot of Florida anglers. I'm looking forward to see what happens in your conference, Dan. I mean, in your division there, the Southeast is no joke. It's going to be a slaughter fest of amazingly talented anglers. I mean, it's not so much, sometimes the talent doesn't win. It's always who's going to be the best team. You know what I mean? And I'm very interested to see what happens out of your conference, man. You got 6 teams in your conference. You're going to have to just roll through. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's definitely going to be tough. Like, we'll be all cutting each other. Because, I mean, at the end of the season, you have to have the best record to get the home field advantage, to really have a really good shot of making the championship. Because if you're going to somebody else's lake in the playoffs, like we did with the Hammers last year, and we got beat by Texas in the Southern Championship, it's tough to go to somebody else's lake and to win.
It is.
And,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you guys have the hardest place to win. I think you have the ultimate home field advantage. Coosa I mean, Neely Henry's tough. I mean, for visitors to come in and try to tackle Neely Henry, good luck to you, man. I mean, good luck.
I mean, that's why, and that's why my questions, but that is why we chose Neely Henry, because it's there's a lot of fish, it gets a lot of pressure, but it's really difficult to catch 18+ inch fish. And a lot of teams are good bag. And everybody that came, I think everything that came in last year, especially the Carolina Casters, who were fishing again on our same home lake. So I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
Stephen Bell and them. But yeah, it's tough to catch those bigger fish, and that's why we chose it as home field. But Randy, that's one of my questions is, as an owner, and I guess Greg from last year, how did y'all choose your home lakes? Because I know, especially with y'all share some lakes. Y'all are kind of have the same home waters as some other teams, right?
Well, the really cool thing is, because of the KAF, we travel all over the state and we go to all these lakes. So there's a large majority of them that we have fished, and there's a small majority that we haven't. So pretty much you can go. I know where some of these guys are going to pick some of their lakes. We all fish Tenor Rock, and we all fish those things, but I like to fish some of the unusual ones. I mean, we do have a couple of the big names like Lake Toho, for instance. That's on our roster. But then we also have a couple spots that are the unusual places that still get the cell signal and things like that to have anglers go to. And you like to have a challenge to them too. You like to make it, but we also want to make it TV worthy. So we want to catch good quality fish. So you want to take them to a place that not a lot of people know, but we also know that you can catch good quality fish. And that we have a lot of those opportunities down here in Florida. And then also working with 3 to 4 other teams out of our state that is wanting to come into the state and fish some of those lakes. So working with those other owners and working with those other teams, trying to develop a schedule so we're not stomping on each other's toes, and to give credit where credit's due, like to allow the Florida Copperheads to make their selections first and hold on to their lakes because their grandfather, they're the one of the founding fathers. Let them do their thing, and then have the other guys and the other teams make their choices. So we really try to work hand in hand. Sometimes it's not always a good battle, but you kind of get some of the lakes that you get, and then you don't get upset, right?
Yeah.
So what
Florida has a ton
what are
of
your
them.
3? What are your 3 home lakes?
So we have Toho, we also have Kenansville, and we also are at A1 Fed as another one. And why did I just go blank on my other lake?
A1 Fed.
Yeah, A1 Fed's a nice hidden secret down here at Jim in South Florida.
Okay.
Okeechobee, man.
Yeah. Well, no, not Okeechobee.
Well, it's
that's a Copperheads.
Oh, that's right. It is. Okay.
Yeah, because we're going to fish Okeechobee, which
That's
I've been to before and I love. So I'm excited to be going back.
So now I got to look real quick.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's perfectly fine. Toho, A1 Feb, Kenansville, and
should just be 3, Brent.
4.
That's it. Yeah, that's 3. Sorry, I was double checking because we did have 4 as a backup, but it got booted.
Okay.
Okay. A1 Fed. Now I want to know what that is.
That is a water management area that's down here in South Florida, south of Okeechobee, and it's only open on the weekends, but it's public access.
So, who manages it?
So it's managed by the water management team here in South Florida, and it is all water controlled right through the middle. So it takes everything from Okeechobee. The water draw goes through the Everglades instead of going out the sides like it did before in all of the newscasts.
No, so like no more red tide because of that.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Or you could just quit spraying grass, and that might.
I'm in firm agreement of that one, so we'll leave it at that one.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. So how did you choose, if you have all these other anglers? I mean, you'll definitely fish the 2 Florida teams. How did you choose which home lakes you're going to put people on? So, and I ask that because your area is a little bit different. Like mine is where I could put somebody on Smith Lake where it's 200 feet and clear.
Yeah.
I could put somebody on a river, or I could put them on a lake. Central and South Florida's kind of, a bowl, grassy bowl.
Yeah. So I mean, we want to go where the most fish can be broadcasted and televised. And obviously, we all know Lake Toho has been used throughout the nation for all sorts of events. So you could put quality through there. And then we wanted to bring a little bit of excitement. We wanted to showcase a couple other events that haven't been in areas. Like, for instance, Kenansville. There hasn't been too many broadcastings of that area, so we wanted to show a little light on that. And then also A1 Fed, we wanted to bring that into into play because not a lot of anglers know about it. And it's a water managed area and it's public access. You can go in there as long as you don't have a motor. You're not allowed to have a gas motor. You can have an electric motor and fish in there. And so it's a beautiful place to go and to be there. So, how we chose which teams are going to go, we tried not to make the farthest team north go to the farthest place south, because that would have just been awful.
That's nice. Yeah.
We're new to the game, but at the same time, we're also trying to set a level of professionalism throughout the organization, and not trying to go after the other guy, but also not trying to make it so difficult that they can't even get to the place. You know what I'm saying? And for us, it's about coming in here, putting our best foot forward, producing a great show, and producing great fish, and hopefully pulling out some wins and doing well this year.
And it seems like it'd be difficult in Florida to even have lakes that have that much cell service, right?
A lot of the rural areas, even like you go to one corner of Toho and the cell signal is awful. So
Yeah.
you have to be very cautious of where your cell signals are, your towers are, and to make it. Keensville is not an easy place, but if you're out in the open, you're okay. But if you're close to a bank, cell signal's gone.
And kind of, Greg, you could speak on this too, but our rules are different whenever it comes to boundaries because you only have to have a certain amount of acreage. Did you play with anything with boundaries on certain lakes? How does that come into play for y'all? Ours is different. Where Neely Henry, we're giving them dam to dam, as long as they're in a creek that feeds the main lake, the main river. You can fish anywhere you want to. It's wide open. Is that something that y'all thought about?
Well, I know for sure for us that we definitely looked at putting some boundaries on some areas, because you can get way back in housing developments on some of these lakes and stuff like that, and we don't want anybody going up in the housing developments. So we're gonna probably landlock it to the lakes itself and up to certain points, only because we want to eliminate maybe a little bit of that competition that could happen inside those canals.
Okay. That's where I'd be going first, because they put us on Okeechobee. We couldn't go off the lake, and there's a couple of there's one subdivision on the west side I really wanted to fish, and whenever they said, "Oh, you have to be on the lake," I'm like, "Damn, that hurt. That really hurt me." I was actually, whenever I went and fished there in a college event, I was in the lock. Me and my buddy, he caught a 9 there, and yeah, we would have had. It was the biggest fish he's ever caught, still to this day. It was a 9.3. I think whenever it had to spit some stuff up because it was bigger than that, I swear, whenever we caught it. And if we would have caught every fish that we had on, had bite that day, because there was a couple of them that we saw and a couple of other ones that came off, we would have had over 40 pounds.
Yeah.
It's just one of those magical days.
Wow.
But super high risk, high reward, punching 2-ounce weights and stuff like that. So you're not going to get them all. But,
well, I mean, you go down to Lake Okeechobee, you got to fish Lake Okeechobee. You can't fish the canal leading into Lake Okeechobee. I mean, that's the part of the magic of fishing the lake. So I can see why they limit everybody to inside the lake only. We've done that at our events for the KAF, and it does eliminate some of anglers' specialty, but it forces anglers to go out and try to catch those big old hogs because they're tucked up in there. And
and whenever they said that for Okeechobee, it's like, oh, we have the biggest lake in the country. I think that's reasonable. It wasn't a boundary issue at all. It was, it sucks I can't fish there, but it's okay. I get it.
Yeah.
There's some stuff like the Monkey Box or wherever you want to fish. There's some places that are going to be really hard to get to on Okeechobee because it's so big.
Massive.
I guess that's the one thing I'm concerned about.
It's all about knowing your ramps and your locations of those ramps and getting into the locations of how to get there. And Okeechobee can chew you up and spit you out. It can make you a hero or make you a zero. And it's all about knowing how to get into those areas from the outlying ramps and stuff to get you into those locations.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Greg, whenever you did it, was there, I guess, what were the considerations whenever you were choosing your lakes or trying to bring opponents onto your lakes?
Well, I mean, like you said, I mean, we want to open up as much of the water as we can within reason. I mean, the Potomac River is huge. So
that's another giant one.
It is. So, we kept it to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge because anything above that is DC, and we don't want you fishing DC waters. And then cutting it all the way down, which is south, it's called the 301 Bridge. So it opens up both Maryland and Virginia side, plenty of plenty of fishing areas for all to fish. So that's more of the boundaries that our local trail uses. So we were consistent with what everybody knew from that standpoint. But the home team, we were very cognizant about making sure that the home team develops those boundaries, because here's the deal. I don't know Neely Henry. Like, why would I tell you what boundaries to fish? You know what I mean? Like, you guys know your own waters. So we were very, careful to sit there and say the home team has absolute call, and it is what it is, man. If they say you can't fish it, you can't fish it. There's a reason, so.
And hey, here's another question. It's kind of getting off topic of that, but what are some things, even as owners, that we're not having to deal with that you're having to deal with? I guess, like I said earlier, I can't believe how much work you've put into all this. What are some things that even we don't know that you've had to deal with that have been difficult for you trying to get all this off the ground?
Man,
I can't even imagine.
Okay. There's so much behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't see, hear, taste, smell, whatever. I mean, there's, like, for instance, doing the graphic works. We don't have a guy that does it. I do it. You know what I mean? You're doing the standings, doing the points, doing the fantasy uploads, doing, basically talking with the sponsors, making sure we're okay there, and making sure all the teams have all their players signed up on Fishing Chaos, making sure that all the players are assigned to the right team, making sure all the tickets are right, making sure, our judges have the best, access to make it all happen, making sure the broadcast team is ready to go, making sure the broadcast team has all the, all the starters, making sure that, they have enough information to make sure we have good stuff, making sure all the technology works, go to the StreamYard.
Working with Fishing Chaos just to be able to do a team format like this.
Yeah. And then exactly, we did that from scratch. The app was created by scratch. I developed the app. And so making sure all, the website works. I did the website. It's all those things, and making sure it's all done, and I'll be honest with you, with my career, my family, things just get overlooked, and I have to kind of go back through the day and making sure, everything's good. Daniel, I'm not complaining. I love it, but the amount of messages I get, I've got 28 owners, and everybody's got their own, question. Just the simple things like the IDs, the KFL IDs. I created all the KFL IDs for all the teams, making sure Blue Fox Gifts has those, for the tourney tags. Making sure the KFL store's okay, making sure Tim's got what he needs to make sure that he's got enough stuff for the tourney tags. We just signed on Jigs and Bigs, making sure that those guys have everything and all the access that they need to do the post-game coverage. There's so much stuff that goes behind this, and it's a monster of my own creation. I get it. But when you open yourself up with all these platforms, and you're looking to make sure that you have as many eyes on this product as possible, it's just part of it, man. You know what I mean? It's just part of it. And again, I wish I can just sit there and tell somebody, hey man, do this for me, but the problem is it takes me longer to train them to do it than me just to do it myself and just move on,
Dude, I honestly just
that's only the tip of it. Randy knows what it was like running stuff. There's the big thing too. I'll be honest with you, man. I was worried about it was insurance. Like trying to find insurance to cover a nationwide kayak trail series and making sure that the coverages are in place. And and then you got to worry about permits up in the north, making sure that there's a general policy for all the permits up in the north, and make sure all the guys are covered, man. That's a big deal, man. And then helping other teams start their LLCs or, in the business end. There's a lot of questions about the business portion of it and the franchise, and try to walk teams through on how to open up the businesses and title it and everything else. And I mean, it's a multi-tier, multifaceted deal. It's something that's never been done. And we're all walking this road of the new path together. And, we're all learning from one another. But yeah, it's a big undertaking, man. It's a big battleship for sure.
Is it getting easier every year? Like you kind of built it out the first year, or has it been more difficult the second year?
It's been a lot more difficult because we've taken a big step, and again, we were on Pride Outdoor Network last year. Okay. They went away. I mean, they walk. I mean, you can't get on Pride anymore. Okay. So where are you gonna put your product? So I created a network. I was like, okay. So I was like, I got to do something. And here's the deal. Like, my goal was to get 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel for Motion Sports before we started the KFL, the KFL week 1. Well, we've got 932. You know what I mean? Like, doing
go stop what you're doing, pause the podcast, go follow them. Motion Sports Network on YouTube, you can follow it all over. I have it on the app. I have it. I mean, I listen to y'all all over the place.
Well, the key is the 1,000. Why you say, why is 1,000? Because the Google algorithms change dramatically. If you have 1,000 subscribers, it exponentially grows from there. You know what I mean? And that's the magical number. It also allows for ads and all sorts of stuff you can do. But that is the key. If you get to 1,000, it makes things, Google will start allowing other people see your content, a lot more. So it grows the product. So Daniel, I'll be honest with you, I've been busting my tail trying to get to that magical number, man. And it's putting out content every single day. You know what I mean? Whether it be regular sports or fishing or something, that you could just put the blurbs together and say, hey man, catch us here,
And that's natural, real growth. That's not going out and buying your subscribers. That's natural, real growth in the industry.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Google will tell you, or like basically, they won't recommend any of their visitors to your Google channel if you're trying to buy subscribers. Like, it shuts it down. Like, you're not going to be able to do that.
Well, I'll never know. I'm at 160 on YouTube, and I think I've maxed out. That's as viral as I get.
Yeah.
I'll never get to 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No, it's tough, man. And, again, it's also, you're trying to keep yourself relevant, and come up with some fresh stuff, without souring the product. That's another thing that's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, the basis of it, it's just fishing. You know what I mean? It's just fishing, man. We're just having fun. But guys, I mean, my ultimate goal for this is, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Jim Johnson, yesterday, and I kind of broke down, and it was like, we were talking about, what's the whole premise and the basis about this? Like, for me, sports was everything in my life. Like, the team aspect, going and being with your buddies and having that camaraderie. And guys in the military, Dan, you understand this. You're in the military, right? I mean, there's a special bond that took place. Not to say that sports or anything can ever replace the bonds that you build while fighting for this country together, hand in hand. But grow up as kids, we had a bond of teammates. It's so funny because I literally was just getting messages on my cell phone. One of my best friends that I used to work with when I first started my career looked me up, and he's like, hey, we used to work together at First Virginia Bank. He's like one of my greatest friends I've ever had. I haven't talked to him in 20 years. He just literally messaged me. I'm like, oh my God, dude. But it's just like those memories of people that you've worked with or, played sports with or whatever. And then you had that common bond for many, many years. We all live our separate lives. We all go different ways. We all go different places. But to be able to kind of come together as a team, as a group of people who have a common, goal and bond, and putting on a uniform and going to a place that maybe you've never been before and try to challenge yourself to beat that other team in a competitive environment. It's so great to me, man. I'm a competitor through and through. I love to compete. I love to win. I hate to lose, but it's more, this has been like after KFL year one, it's been a lot more than that to me. It's been hosting and getting to know these other anglers from other places, going to other places and hanging out with them, and then just enjoying their fellowship, man. That's what I cherish the most.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's incredible.
Well, the other thing too that Greg's got going for him too is now he's created teams that can help him inside of this. So now he can go out and fish Saturday, and he can trust the people to go on the back end side and produce a show, host a show, take care of the show for him, so he can go out and enjoy his day out in the water with his team and be there. So he's starting to make teams and pockets to make this relieve that pressure off of him, and they can actually enjoy what he created and founded.
Yeah. And that's what's so great about it too, man, because, you know, again, forming that other team, you know, like he's talking about, like not just the team that you compete with, but the team of broadcasters that we have, you know, and they're talented people, man. I mean, yourself, Dan, Randy, I mean, Juice, Blake. I mean, all these guys are very talented individuals. And I mean, they're not getting paid a dime right now. I mean, they're just doing this, you know, out of fun. Now, hopefully we'll get to that point where we can do that, but we're doing it just because we love content creation and we love our sport and we believe in the product, man. And I cannot wait to see where this takes us, because I think that this is going to change kayak fishing. Now, there's a lot of naysayers out there that don't think that, but I think this is going to be the place to be. If you're not on a team, you're going to be missing out.
I mean, if you look at the people who have bought in from year one, from nothing to year one, and then year one to year two, I mean, names they are what they are. But if you go just by that, I mean, it's the biggest names, at least half of the biggest names in kayak fishing are fishing KFL now. And that's
exactly
year
right.
two. That's year two. What will year three be? Year four?
Well, I think this year is going to be the year of the unknowns. I think you're going to see who a Chris Mitchell is. Nationally, people have never heard of this guy. People in Florida know who Chris Mitchell is. Yeah. I think on the national level,
KFL,
they're going to know.
Right. Fantasy, they're know. Chris Mitchell.
Yep.
Write that down. Is he fishing this week?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. I have to change one of my people. Randy told me so, or Greg told me. I'm sorry.
But no, I agree with Greg. I think that this year, because it's been expanded so much, that we're going to learn so much about more individuals, about their personality, their style, the way that they get out there and fish as a group and as a team, and to go out and compete. And not only that, but you're going to see 4 other anglers at another event from that team and learn about them and be more involved and to understand, hey, fantasy fishing's going on. You got this group event going on over here. You've got this team going against this team because interstate rivalries are going to happen now. It's just going to grow. And that's the way that's why we did sports when we were kids. You know, we got on baseball teams and football teams and did soccer and did all these other things because we wanted to go against that team that we did not like from our school. And you wanted to be a part of that. You wanted to be involved in that. You know, it was whether it was the team across the street or the team in another state, it was still your rival and it's still what you wanted it to be. That's what we want. And so Greg's created a platform to allow us to create those things and to have a little bit of smack talk, to have a little bit of fun, but at the same time, put out a product that's going to want people to be involved in it.
I know I've heard you say this before, Greg, but now if we're at 28 teams, and whenever you max out at 32, which is the cap that you've set, like whenever there's a limited amount of space and there's more demand, it seems like teams are going to get better, or teams are going, I don't know if you have people knocking on your door who are better anglers than somebody who's currently on your team. Once all the teams are full and they can't create their own team anymore, you know, it's only going to make the teams better.
Well, it's just natural progression. I mean, here's the deal. Like they're talking about sub leagues and everything else, like a farm teams and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think we're close to that, but I think, you know, once we get 32 teams, it can only be better, right? Like as long as, you know, the current anglers of quality anglers that we have, you know, like the product, like what they're doing, and they fish with us again next year. Yeah, I mean, the teams are only going to get more competitive. I mean, they really are. So, like you said, man, I mean, there's anglers out there that are still unbelievable talented anglers. you know, that are not convinced that this is right for them because of time and effort. There's a lot of time that goes into this, or one thing or another.
A
So
lot of time.
yeah, it is. It's a lot of time. There's no doubt about it, man. But that's why you have 8 players. So you don't have to fish every event. You don't have to fish every game, you know? So, but yeah, it's really, really cool, man. I mean, I don't know. I just I think we're gonna see some major upsets this week. I think we're gonna see it, man. I really do. I think
Who do you think's going to lose? Who's the major upset? Tennessee?
let me just tell you this.
Sam and them have a chance. I do. Here is a question. I asked Sam this: is how are we going to do times with that? Because, like, if our start time is 7, how do the people fishing the Hobie aren't going to say, "Well, I'm going to start fishing"?
No, our start time's at 6, but here's the deal: like, they can still fish Hobie. They just can't submit their fish until 6 o'clock.
But they can fit, so they have to. Do those fish count?
Anything before 6 o'clock does not count towards KFL.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if I think is their start time 5:30?
I don't know. I thought I thought the start time was 7, from 7 to 12 and 1 to 7.
You talking about KFL?
Yeah.
No, it's 6. 6. It's 6 to 1.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not much in. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how that was going to work.
Yeah. No, it's 6 to 1 and 12 to 7.
Because I know we're fishing we have a home game the same week that we have a local tournament, so that makes it easy.
Yeah. Again,
try not to catch the biggest one in that
right at 5:30. Right. Yeah. I mean, and a lot of games are being played simultaneously from live events. That's perfectly fine. I mean, and you can certainly catch fish from 5:30 to 6. You just can't submit them. I mean, the app won't even let you submit them, before that. So, and of course, we get time stamps and all that stuff. So, we'll know, if those fish are caught prior to. But yeah, I mean, it's 6 to 1 and 12 to 7. So it shouldn't be too bad.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't wait. Like, you're going back to that game in particular. I did message Sam. And I was very upfront. I said, Sam, I think your team can do it. I do. And we've talked about this on the podcast I was just doing. It is going to be, I think you've got Adam Murray, Mike Elsey, Jason Cassidy, and Sam Jones. And then you've got Christine Fisher, Jody Queen, Eric Siddiqui, and Josh Stewart. Okay. I think it's going to come down to Sam Jones versus Josh Stewart. If Sam can somehow beat Josh Stewart on Chickamauga, Tennessee will win.
But I mean, right now, the very beginning of June, those fish, a lot of them, I mean, not all of them, I would say the meat has just went offshore. I mean, this is historically.
You're right.
It's just went offshore. They're out there. They're stupid. Sam loves to fish deep. And I don't think Josh is, I'm sure he's versatile. All I know about him is Cinco is a great angler. I don't know what he prefers or what he doesn't, but if he throws a Cinco, I'm guessing he's more of a shallow water angler.
Mm-hmm.
And they can obviously be caught on shallow, but Sam, if he goes offshore and gets on the right school, I mean, he could put up all 10.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just think that, and I'll be honest with you, like my own game, Motor City, they're coming down. They beat us here last year. Now I'm fishing this year, but I think they can come in and beat us. I do, because the Potomac River is so unpredictable right now. It's like you said, it's in a transition period. We're completely off of post-spawn. We're in the post-spawn funk right now. And some guy can find a school of bigs that they just come across and smoke us. I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable for them to come in and beat us. I mean, am I going to do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen? You daggone right I am. You know what I mean? But, I think that kind of stuff can happen. The Potomac River is just like that. I mean, it's a wonderful fishery when it's on, and then it can be really tough when it's not. So.
And Randy, where are y'all fishing this weekend?
Oh, we're at the Rock. We're at Tenor Rock down here. So
home game?
No, it's actually an away game. We're going against the Copperheads, and it still feels like a home game to us because we fish these waters. So, that's a blessing in disguise right there. But they've got a well organized team that's been together for a year. They've traveled in the state as a team, and they've done all of our KAF events as a team, and they've all excelled at those. So it's going to be a great opportunity to be the underdog on it and still go to one of our home lakes that we say, and still try to put up numbers. And this weekend's going to be some foul weather and some different things. So it's just a different place. And we know it pretty well in the rain. We love fishing in the rain.
Yeah.
It's going to be nasty.
What kind of numbers y'all going to put up there? I mean, is it going to be over 200?
It could easily be done, especially on the way this weather and this front's coming in. It could easily be done because it's all gearing up for tropical storms. So it could be a nasty feeding frenzy. So we're looking forward to seeing what the Rock has to produce this weekend.
Oh, so are y'all getting that tropical storm that's coming off Mexico right now?
We're expecting it to be here hopefully by Friday, and moving and pushing all that rain and everything in this way. So they're talking about like 20-mile-per-hour gusts at times.
Wow. Is Tenorock that open, or is it a little more?
Depends on your lakes. We have 30-something lakes in that area. So, you get on the wrong lake, you can have a bad day easily. But if you get on the right lake, you can be sheltered, you can be covered, and you can have a great day. But the Rock plays out really, really well in rain. So it should be a lot of fun. When it's blazing hot there, it's miserable.
Yeah. And it used to be mines. Is that what it was?
That's right. It's Tenorock mines. All mines, sulfate mines throughout there, and I've been turned over to the water management to Tenorock Fishing now, and it's all managed in that area. And they've done a great job of, you can only have so many boats or kayaks out on the water. You can only have so many people out there, so they're limited numbers on some. They're so big that they have like 30 people that can be out there.
Oh, on each lake.
Yeah, so some of them are like 4, 3, 2 people on lakes, and some are big numbers. So they do a great job of managing it there.
How do they manage that? Do you have to get a permit beforehand, or
you have to walk in? You have to go to a gate, give them your license, tell them what lake you're going to. They give you a tag that you put up in your window, and you can go there. You can fish any lake throughout the day, but you have to go back to the shack, to the welcoming center, and turn in that tag and get another tow. Yeah, and hope it's. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I swear I'd live in Florida if my wife would move. I work remote. I could do it. I don't know why she doesn't want to go.
Me too, bro. Me too, man.
Yeah.
Well, you're here for like half the year, man.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Without apology, but we'll see. I got couple years before my youngest one gets out of high school, and things might be changing then. So we'll see.
I love it. I mean, Alabama's great too, but if I could be in Florida, that's the only place I would move to. That's where it would be. I love Harris Chain.
It's hilarious because I'm ready to get out of here and go to another place.
Really?
I love the fishing and I love the people down here, but it's the crowds, the numbers, and the quantity and density of human beings is starting to get a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wow. It's the new New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that much of an increase?
Oh yeah, tremendously. It's putting a hurting. I mean, you can go to a local fishing hole down here, and there could be another 20 people, 30 people in a jet ski or a boat, or all kayakers now. I mean, it's really starting to get dense in here.
Wow, that sucks.
But everybody wants to move to Florida.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people. I guess I want to move a little bit less now. I'll stay in Alabama.
Freedom. Yeah. Although, like my second choice, 100%, it's North Alabama. I love that area, man.
Yeah. North Alabama, Huntsville is just rated #1 place to live.
Number one place to live.
I've been saying that for years. Huntsville, if you're looking for work or something else and you're looking for a place to move, man, Huntsville is. I can't believe more people aren't moving there, except for housing, because it's expensive, because there's so many people have moved there and it's booming so much. But jobs, beautiful place, great fishing, good food. Yeah, right. North Alabama is specifically. I love Florence, which is Pickwick, but the whole Huntsville, Gunnersville, that whole area is awesome place to be.
Well, the cool thing is you're also not too far away from Chattanooga. I mean, you've got other places you can get to from there. And it's not too difficult.
2 hours from Nashville and hour from Birmingham and Huntsville. Because I live in Birmingham, I don't mean to get on a whole deal, but they've opened up a new center and they've taken all the good concerts from my city, from Birmingham. So now all the good people are going up there now rather than here.
Oh, wow.
Sucks. Yeah. They opened some new arena. It's taking everybody. They have really good bookers, I guess. But,
Yeah.
All right, guys. I don't want to hold you up anymore. I
No,
appreciate anything else you want to say about the KFL people need to know before we sign off here.
Just, I mean, tune in, support. Just be a fan. Be a fan of the local team. Support your local team, man. I mean, there's a lot of hard work goes into being in a team and the dedication these anglers are doing, man. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's, as I said, it's just gonna be it's innovative. Let me just say that it's an innovative approach to fishing, and it kind of reminds you, like Randy was saying, like when you were a kid, playing for a sports team. That's what this is about. So, I have become fans of other teams that I'm not even a part of, man. I just love the players, man. I really do. I mean, they're characters. I root for them. And I'll be honest, there's some people I'm rooting against. You know what I mean? There's some people I'm just like, oh man, ain't your time. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I'll tell you what, some of the emails that I've seen, there's going to be some, if you like people talking trash, dude, you've got to watch this podcast coming up, the recap show. What, on Thursdays? Is that when it's going to be?
Yeah,
it's going. If you like shit talking, it's going to be like grade A, top shelf shit talking. So you definitely
the way that is structured is, and their vision for this, which I think was perfect, man, because we're all kind of the same age. It's 1993 Sports Center with Charlie Steiner, Dan Patrick, and Stuart Scott. That's the kind of approach that they're trying to do with this recap show. It's kind of that kind of calamity. It's going to be fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
know my guys have been thinking up some shit talking to do themselves. So
well,
it's a little bit. Y'all love it up there in the north. Y'all love trash talking a little bit more than what we do down here. You're liable to get cut. I mean, we don't talk too much smack because people get real sensitive up there. Y'all that's your thing. But
yes, I mean, sure. I mean, there's just there's going to be some people like, I don't know, man. You're going to have some people who are just so humble and so appreciative of what they're doing, and then you've got Jason Gardner. I mean, he just doesn't care. You know what I mean? He'll say it, smack it, talk it, and then when he just falls flat on his face, he doesn't care. He's going to talk more trash. You know what I mean? So it's to one of each his own, I guess. But
I think it's all going to cut loose too, because if you don't trash talk and people are doing the trash talk, and then you find out a week later, like you can't respond in time. The game is already over. They talk trash. To find out what happened, and then so it'll get more people who didn't before into it because you're always a week behind it.
So I'm a big believer in thinking all those that are quiet beforehand, when you get them on a camera, watch out.
So can I tell you a quick story that happened last year?
Yeah, man.
They're not with us this year, so I'm going to talk trash with them. So, West Virginia the West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. So we had a game in West Virginia, and beforehand, like you said, talking trash. And I had posted on their social media site that Virginia is going to take back country roads, because that song was written about Western Virginia. Okay. The Shenandoah River is not in West Virginia. It's in Virginia. Okay. So it talks about Shenandoah River, and the Appalachian Valley. Well, West Virginia stole that song from Virginia. I don't care what they say. They took it as their own. So I told them, we're taking that song back after we beat their asses in West Virginia. Right. And you should have seen the responses. And like, people are coming up to me in West Virginia. Like, are you that asshole that wrote that? I'm like, yeah, man, that was me. Well, and then they just like, that's our song. Like, that's our song. Country Roads is our song. I mean, just so offended, right? Well, they beat us at a whopping 29 inches to 0. Okay. We caught over 60 fish in the Greenbrier River, my team and I, and we scored 0 scoreable bass over 14 inches. It was unbelievable. They scored 2 on the Greenbrier River. Okay. So they started, basically playing country roads. We went to a restaurant and there's fans there and the whole community's there and they're cheering on West Virginia, and they're playing country roads and they're just digging it in. Right. Well, when West Virginia came over to Washington, we beat them. Okay. So there's a video of me kind of like George Washington on my kayak, standing up, holding my chest, like my life vest. And I'm kind of like doing like the Captain Morgan's pose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got, country roads being played and I played it everywhere. Like, after we beat them, and I was getting death threats, dude. It was just like, that's our song. Anyway, it was hilarious, man. But I'll have to give West Virginia. I'm very sad that they're not part of the KFL this year, because the greatest fan base I've ever seen, and sensitive, but they loved their team, man. And it was so much fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
Well, of course they do. They're all related to the people on the team.
It was Hatfield and McCoy, man. There's no doubt about it, dude. They were something else, man. But I tell you, I've never seen a fan base so sensitive, but yet so much fun to pick on, man. It was great.
Well, I'm sorry, Mark. Mark Edwards, don't get mad at me for that West Virginia joke.
He knows his state sucks. His state sucks for fishing. I'm sorry. Mark's a heck of an angler. How he comes out of West Virginia and an angler like that is beyond me, because his state sucks when it comes to bass fishing. Period.
Well, maybe next year he'll maybe next year he'll start a West Virginia team back up.
I hope, but hopefully they're not going to put us on the Greenbrier or New River, because I think a total of literally West Virginia wound up producing last year a total of maybe, I think, 8 scoreable bass.
Wow.
I mean, they could have Jody Queen, Matt Ball, Mark Edwards, because I think Matt Ball is right on the other side of the border. I mean, in Ohio. I think they touch. I'm not good, but there's geography up there.
Amazing.
That's at least 3 in West Virginia.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's some amazing hammers coming out of West Virginia. I don't see how, because I mean, their fishing's terrible in this state. So it's statistically the worst state of bass fishing in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No joke.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yep. So, Mark, I love you to death, man, but your state sucks.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all being on, and good luck this season. I mean, not too much luck. Well, Randy, not too much luck to you. Greg, I hope we see y'all in the championship. Randy, I hope y'all do great. Just win less win than us.
Yeah.
Whoop all the other Florida teams. Yeah. Whoop all them. So then that way, whenever we go to Okeechobee, they're just like, this season doesn't even matter. We're not even going to try.
Yeah.
So, and some people quit, and I can only hope. Y'all be good. And thanks again for being on. We'll see y'all again. Good luck this season, and I'll talk to y'all for too long.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye.
There you go. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all again next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You could support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures. your Midwest premier paddle sports destination, go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle boxes today.